Gotcha. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today we have episode 8 of the Oddcast podcast, and we have Miss J here today. Miss J, how have you been doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Pretty good.
As good as you can be. Yeah, we've been having fun doing the whole podcast thing, and we have a lot of support for it too. A lot of people have been watching it.
I noticed you guys got like hundreds of views. Like,
I mean, not to brag, but yeah. Mr. Flanagan has so many views.
I'm surprised you guys like a big heart around his face there. Oh my gosh.
No, that was his idea. He was like, can you guys do like a clickbait thumbnail for me so I get a lot of views?
Yeah, he doesn't need any help, I'm sure. So.
That's funny.
I don't know why, yeah, but the clickbait worked too because it's our most viewed video by 150 views, and I was just thinking how does 3 arrows in a circle make him that much popular?
He is very popular. My students always talk about him. So.
It's just I love the guy, but he's just, I don't know. I think he's the main attraction of so many grades because he's just a large man. You know, he's the largest guy I've seen.
He's just a great teacher, so.
He is. He's the nicest guy too. But that's enough about him, Miss J. This one's about you.
This is your interview.
So, what have you been doing really during quarantine?
I've been gardening. I've been teaching my daughter geometry, which I don't know, so I've been having to learn because the public school system around here just gives them work to do, and then it's my job to teach it to them. So that's kind of exciting. You guys are getting your money's worth at Hackley, that's for sure. So that's been good. I've enjoyed not driving everybody everywhere, so partly it's been really nice.
Yeah, no, it's annoying because I was planning on taking my driver's test to actually get my license during spring break, but then, coronavirus, and now we can't do that. So it just is going to suck because I'm going to be the only senior or freshman at college who just can't legally drive.
No, me too.
Okay without you on the road, Sean, I have to say, I'm okay with that.
Miss J, I am a great driver. You can ask my mom. I've only ran 3 red lights. And but they were close. But they were close. But
if you think about it, in your parents' lifetime, they've probably run more red lights than you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, Mom, I'm such a better driver than you. You've gotten so many more tickets than I have. She's like, you've been driving for 3 months. I said, I know. But what pisses me off the most about driving is all the bikers. Not the motorcyclists, but the actual people with the actual bicycles. They're the worst. Because oh, I know, but it's just so tempting to hit them.
See, this is why I'm glad you do not have your license, Sean. So,
Jay, I would never.
I know. I actually drove a bus in college. That was my job, and I accidentally bumped someone with the mirror once. So that's my claim to fame. I got big.
Was that a work study?
I was pulling into a stop because it's student bus drivers. They're huge buses, right? But I got it on a dare because at UVA there's a bridge called Beta Bridge, and it said student bus drivers needed. It was something like $6.80 an hour. It's the highest paid on-campus job. And I was like, oh, that looks like fun. And my friends were like, you would never get that job. I was like, I can't. And they're like, you were the worst driver ever. I'm like, I'm not a bad driver. I could totally be a bus driver. So I applied, and I had to come back to school 2 weeks early in the winter and take really hard tests. It was really difficult. And I was a student bus driver. So I was pulling into a stop right when I first started, and some guy, he walked into the mirror. I mean, I was there first really moving in, and he bumped him, and it just jostled him. He didn't fall down or anything, but I got in a little bit of trouble. So
wait, so you just tapped him with the mirror?
Yes, I actually failed the first part of my driving test. So then I had another 2 weeks of student bus driving, which was embarrassing. Yeah.
Wait, did he get up or did he fall down, or did he just kind of
I just tapped him. He just bumped him, bumping into somebody. But I bumped him with the bus and not my body.
You shouldn't have been there.
He's getting too close.
Sean always talks about, Sean and I are both doing work studies for college, right? And Sean always talks about how he wants to work at his schools or Catholic, you said the cafe?
Yeah, Catholic has a coffee they have a cafe there. So if you didn't know me, Shay, I'm a barista. Well, was. I still have my job, but they're not really letting kids work there right now. But yeah, so I'd like to work there because my sister works in the bookshop for her school, Denison, which is, that's awesome and stuff. She also got a discount in books, but I feel like being a barista and doing that it'd be really fun, and it'd also be like a good way to meet people too.
I think you'd be great at it. You're super social and friendly. That'd be actually,
I feel like he doesn't have the look for it though. Like baristas usually have a sense of style or fashion.
Well, I need to dye my hair like
handsome
red.
in some sort.
Beard going right now. I think he could totally pull it off.
Gabe, why are you guys analyzing me right now? This happened with Mr. Flanagan too. They were analyzing me, and I'm right in the call.
We forgot to address the comments, guys. Stop telling Sean to turn his video off. It's a video podcast.
That's what I was gonna
he
say.
He can't do anything about his face.
You guys, there will be no compromises. I am staying on the podcast. You can't say, okay, Sean can still be there, but no video. No, I will keep my video on. Miss J, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I got a message one time. Somebody said, Sean is really ugly. Can you take him off the podcast and find someone more attractive? Which I think is kind of funny.
That's mean.
Internet bullies.
Yeah.
Internet bullying. No good.
Well, I mean, it's not really bullying. I just turned the computer off, and then the bullying was gone, so.
Good. That's why Lizzie plays this game Roblox. It's ridiculous. She keeps
Wait, what did she play?
Roblox.
Oh. I know Roblox.
She plays with her friends, but then this one girl she didn't know told her to go get hit by a car. And I was like, who thinks those things? Like, I just
Sean thinks of those things.
I would have preferred go get hit by a bus.
Oh, that's a low blow, Sean.
Alright, fine. Go get tapped by a bus.
Get tapped by a bus.
That's a cool story for that guy, though. He'd be like, yeah, what'd you do? Is it, oh, I survived coronavirus. What'd you do? I survived getting hit by a bus.
He ruined the driver's test for Miss Johnson.
Yeah, he also completely screwed you with that.
It did. All the other drivers in my class passed, too. I was the only one that didn't pass the second driver's test.
Did they have to write like a note for like reason for not passing?
Well, it was like my big boss that was on the bus with me. So I looked at him after that happened. He's like, "You were not passing." It's like, man, really?
But you ended up driving anyways.
For 2 years. It was actually a really fun job. You could listen to music, and they had like a little boom, like a little box with tapes, cassette tapes, because back then that's what we had. And you'd stick it up and you'd throw on this polyester blue shirt with a little patch. And you just grab the bus and take over driving for 3 hours, and then you were done. So.
Did you get any tips?
No, but my friends would sometimes ride around with me.
So did that help you meet a lot of new people at college?
No, not really. I mean, people, I don't know. No. I mean, there was a bus driving community. They had parties, and they were really nice.
Wait, that's awesome. I didn't even think that'd be a thing. Was there like a bus driving frat or like sorority?
Not really, but they definitely were like a pretty close group. I knew they were funny. I mean, I learned actually a big lesson because I went there, and it was like, I mean, I'm from Virginia. It's kind of conservative. Lots of like, the folded baseball caps and khakis and like, button-up shirts, like that kind of like.
I think I have an idea of what you're saying, Ms. Johnson.
Right. That's like pretty classic Virginia style, right? I mean, girls wear makeup even though they're wearing sweatpants to class. Like, it's just very much that way.
It sounds like Hackley.
Yeah, no, it is like another thing. It's not even close to Hackley. So,
Fair enough.
So then I went to my first class there, and we're all in a room. They're assigning us our mentors, and I saw this guy. He had bright red hair that was like down to his waist. He's wearing all leather. He had piercings like everywhere, on his ears, like on his face, like everywhere. And I was like, how does he go to UVA? I've never seen anyone like this at UVA. And then I was like, well, please God, don't let that be my trainer. He's really gonna hate me. And sure enough, Josh, that was his name, was my trainer. I was like, of all people, I'm with this guy. I'm like this super preppy girly girl. He's like gonna be like, God, please don't let that girl be my trainee. But he ended up being one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And he was an art student at UVA. We became very, very good friends. So just kind of a lesson: don't judge people by what they look like. I learned that there. So.
It's just,
That's a funny story. Sean and I have been thinking a lot about college. Like, obviously, we're seniors, and like for our senior project, I feel like, well, hopefully some of the other kids in our grade are listening. So we were asking a lot of the teachers about tips and stuff that they had for college and what they remember from their college days. So that's good information.
Yeah, give everyone a shot. You have no idea what they're really like on the inside. So.
And so, what's it called? Me and Gabe were talking to Jimmy Jones and Jason Mark about like ways to be more social in college too, and to like meet more people. So Jason said he followed Mr. Francis' advice, which is say yes to everything and keep your door open. And Jimmy said that you should mingle with more people and group projects instead of just distancing from them because and just doing your work. So do you have any advice for incoming freshmen for college on how to be more social and meet more people and just have better overall college experience?
Well, I think you guys will be just fine. You're super social.
well, for those less fortunate.
Just don't be afraid of joining things. Like there's so many things to join and be involved with, and even if you don't end up sticking with it, you never know like what's going to happen. Like I met all the bus drivers kind of on the dare. And I went to my first bio lab, and then I just randomly sat next to this person, and we had to pick partners, and she became one of my best friends and was in the wedding. So just randomly where I sat, like you never know where you're gonna meet your buddies. So.
Jimmy Jones kind of talked about like group projects being a catalyst for making friendships and stuff like that. So yeah, we definitely hear that.
Yeah, the lab work is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also too. I remember he said he sat down next to a random guy, and they became really good friends during their orientation, which is it's awesome to hear.
Joking around the whole time.
Really first trimester, so that's a good time to be out there because everyone wants to meet people and be friends. So.
Man, everyone's desperate at that time too, so everyone's standards are really low.
Well, I think everyone's they're missing their friends, and so they're more open to making new friends.
That's true too. You saved it, Miss J. You saved it.
Going into college, did you know what you wanted to do, Miss Johnson?
Well, I was good at biology. Surprise, surprise. So, so I thought I would but I didn't want to be a vet. Like I grew up on a farm, and I knew what a lot of that stuff entailed. And I was really not interested. I didn't want to be a doctor, but I didn't really know what else was there if you were good at biology but didn't want to do those two things. So I ended up my first year taking a class in the environmental science department called Beaches, Coasts, and Rivers. And it was amazing. My first class, I was like, I can't believe people get paid to study this. I had no idea that was an option. Environmental science actually, I went to college a while ago, guys. It goes by fast, but it was kind of a new major back then even. And so now you have so many options like conservation biology, like land management, forage. There's so many things you can major in that have to do with the life sciences that just weren't options back when I was in school. So when I got into the environmental science program, I realized like within the first week of that class, I was like, I'm gonna major in environmental science. I went and declared my major really early so I could get started my program early. And I wanted to be a professor. So that's kind of where I started. I wanted to do research. But then when I got into graduate school, I didn't realize how much I was by myself a lot. It was really lonely work sometimes doing research, and I didn't really like that. And I liked teaching better, so I just went into teaching.
Wait, so how did you get into teaching in the first place?
Well, I've always I tutored all my friends through AP Bio in high school, and then in college I did a lot of the zoology classes. I was teaching a bunch, and then in graduate school I was in San Francisco, which is really expensive for a graduate student to live in. So I was pretty poor, and I worked as a substitute teacher. I worked grading standardized tests. You got 25 cents a test, so I think that's why I can be a pretty fast grader because I graded a lot really quickly.
But was it quality grading, or were you just whatever?
No, actually, so this company started out and they had 40 of us, but it ended up being this girl and I at the end because we were so fast that we could do it all. And so they buy us pizza wherever we wanted to eat. So you got free food, plus you could make $400 on the weekend. So that wasn't so bad. And then
you've just been passing everything 5.
Yeah, no,
5,
exactly.
5,
yeah,
5.
I'd been yeah, that looks right. That looks about good.
No. So it was middle school test. And then as a graduate student, I had to TA, and I loved TA. It was so much fun. And so then when I was interviewing for jobs at the end of my graduate school, I had already met my my husband, but he was my boyfriend then. But I knew I'd probably get married to him. And so I didn't want to, like a lot of the other science jobs, you had to travel, and I didn't really want to travel. And then when I interviewed for the consulting jobs, I went in for these interviews and I was like, this sounds like the most boring thing ever. Like, I really cannot picture doing this the rest of my life. I think I would, it's awful. And that I think came across in the interviews, but I did not get called back for any of them. So they're like, what do you think about this? I was like, oh, that sounds great. Not. And then the teaching jobs were so exciting and fun. So I got hired at the Athenian School, which is actually a round square school out in Danville, California. And that's where I got started, and I loved it. It was fun, and I've loved it ever since. So although my first years of teaching, I was not very good. So I look back on those times, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? That was terrible. So.
What was different? Gabe's all you, big man.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say, do you think Sean or I are cut out for teaching?
Yeah, their teaching takes all kinds, and sometimes it's good to be able to come at things from different perspectives. So, and really, Sean, you're funny, you're very lively, you would really demand their attention. So
well, don't leave Gabe out there. You compliment me, you gotta give some to Gabe.
Compliments, you gotta wait. So I was giving you compliments first. Okay? And then Gabe is very organized, and Gabe is good at looking at things at different points of view, which is really important for teaching, to be able to see different perspectives in the classroom.
Wow.
But he's not funny.
Good at that. Gabe was funny. You were funnier. Come on, let's be honest. Although you way more than Gabe ever thinks about it, so I don't think you've learned about the line all the way. So.
Oh no, the line is just Miss J. With me, there is no line. I determine where the line is, man. It doesn't always work. You know, it's just not always work.
You have no idea how much I have to edit out of these videos. Not this one, luckily.
I got you guys. I know. Believe me.
Okay, not all of it's me. Okay,
the Jimmy and Jason episode. The Jimmy and Jason episode went like 10 minutes shorter than all of the other ones, just because of Sean and Jason also. But
okay, but me and Jason had this great rapport going, and it just was not cut out for a Hackley School Project video. But Miss J, I know the line, like the Guy Fieri thing was, I was tired. If you can I explain that to our viewers? I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt though. Hold on, it's getting a little toasty in the sun.
Gotcha. So for everyone listening in, last year I was in Miss Johnson's biology class, which is one of my favorite classes. It was super fun, but I was running on like 3 hours of sleep one night, and I came in, and Miss Johnson had you had dyed your hair, right?
No, I just
got a haircut.
Oh, you had a haircut. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I only have a sister and a mom, so she came in, and I said, "Oh, Miss J, you look really nice. I like the haircut. You look like Guy Fieri."
I don't.
Which.
And then I said, no wonder you don't have a girlfriend right now, because that is not how you talk to girls. So.
Which in my twisted little mind, I thought that was a compliment. I would say, "Oh, I would love to be called Guy Fieri," but I didn't consider the fact that Miss Johnson would want to be called Guy Fieri. So
in Sean's defense, I can attest he really does he loves Guy
I really
Fieri.
do love Guy Fieri, and it's not Fieri, Gabe. It's Fieri. It's Fieri. If you say it like the T, but you say it fast, it's not
okay.
Fieri.
Whatever.
Fieri.
Hold on, my dog just came outside, and I have to go clip him up, or because he doesn't like when people come visit, so he'll bite somebody. So I have to make sure he doesn't.
Okay.
No wonder you didn't have a girlfriend, Sean.
Yeah, it was only that. It was only the Guy Fieri. That's the only reason, dude.
You haven't learned.
I would still call.
Huh?
No, I have learned from that, because I learned not to compliment people when I have minimal sleep. That's what I learned from that.
No, or you could just stick with, "Hey, your haircut looks nice." Like.
Well, that's like normal. That's like, the standard. I want to go above and beyond, either good in a good way or a bad way. And it did. It went in a really bad way.
Yeah. I wasn't offended because it was you. I think it was. That was so mean. It was Sean. I was like, Sean, really? So,
what if like Jimmy said that to you?
He would never.
He would never do that.
Okay, well, this is a hypothetical.
He's like so kind. So,
okay.
Connor
Well,
was being mean to me earlier this year. He was really grumpy about something, and Jimmy's like, "I'm gonna take care of it." Jimmy yelled at Connor. It was so nice.
That's pretty funny. Oh wait, but Miss J, actually, I have a question. So, how did you get into AFER in the first place? You talked about you were really good at biology, because I think biology is just kind of like it's just like very similar to AFER in a way.
Okay, so biology is a pretty big field, and I think that's why I didn't really fit in the biology group at UVA. Environmental science is more like the natural history stuff, and that's what I really enjoyed. I took a biology of fishes class where we got to go identify fish. I spent a summer doing that. And then my master's is in marine biology. So that's just kind of the field work I liked. And then when I was interviewing for jobs back on the East Coast, 9/11 happened when I was out in California, and we really wanted to move closer to home. My husband is from Michigan. I didn't want to move to Michigan. I'm from Virginia. That's where I really wanted to go. But my husband is a designer, so he thought New York would be better. So I interviewed for jobs in New York. And when I interviewed with Hackley, I met Phil Variano, and he talked about this ecology class. And I was like, oh, I would love to teach something like that. And so then I got the job, and we moved out here, and ecology was just like a natural history class. So we watched movies, we didn't do much. And then I started working with Andy Retzloff, and that's where we really developed AFER to what it is. Its name came from the fact that one year, I think advanced physics was like 3 sections, and that was back when McClay was department chair. And I was like, oh, this is not fair. Like, ecology, like, you have both the word advanced and physics in the title. Like, I can't compete with that with college counseling. Like, ecology sounds really lame next to that. So we went to Mr. Laxton.
So advanced.
So I was like, can you rename this class to make it sound better? And so he came up with advanced forest ecology research. So it has advanced and research in it. And then the day the name changed, I had 4 kids transfer into the class. So marketing is important.
That's awesome.
Like
Yeah,
the
so
definition of doing it for college.
No, it really, some of the kids were not interested. They wanted the name, and they were more interested in the natural history.
I know that's the only reason Sean took it, actually.
Yeah, no, if it was just forest ecology research. Sorry, I'm out. But advanced, come on, Miss J. No, it was one of my favorite classes. It was so fun and engaging.
It's fun to be outside. It's a really good break. It's really needed for some kids, I think, too.
Yeah, for kids
in,
like me.
This ADHD world we live in.
Yeah, it's really helpful for children with ADHD for sure.
I'm not a child, but
no, you're an adult child.
Yeah.
You know what? That actually works for me. I like that. Never mind, Miss J. No, but it really was great because whenever I had Miss Olson, for those of you who don't know, and I love her, she was a great teacher too. But we would go outside and it would just be so fun because we obviously were walking outside and you're not sitting in a class all day, and it's so much cooler, I think, and more engaging just going outside and being able to see trees and pick out leaves and stuff like that. It doesn't sound like that.
No, for sure.
Great, just picking up leaves, but it's awesome doing it when you're actually doing it.
Someone with a small attention span would be easily entertained by leaves, Sean.
No, it's like there's something called tree blindness, where you don't really notice the world around you outside naturally because you don't know about it. But when you start to learn, all of a sudden you're driving along and you're like, whoa, I know that tree, I know that tree, I know that tree, I hear that bird, I know what it is. And you start to notice more stuff. So then the outside world becomes more interesting because you just know more about it.
Yeah, I do all the bird calls for my dog, and she really enjoys them.
How many birds have you summoned?
Oh, let me think. I made a northern cardinal wants to be my mate because I did the mating call, but I don't think that really worked. So she has my number, but she's blocked.
But you don't know how to talk to girls, Sean.
Yeah, no, I called her Guy Fieri and she stormed away.
Well, this stuff really sticks with you. It's funny, I'll get emails from students and they're like, my roommate thinks I'm really weird because I know what the birds are outside her window. Or
That's actually really funny.
She's like, I can't stop myself, but I was on a date and I told this boy what this tree was. He's like, why do you know that? And she's like, I took class, this is what I do. And then I got another story I think about there's just all kinds of fun little tales where
What do you mean, Miss J? That's the greatest pickup line. You see an American elm, you're like, hey, they call that the Judas tree because Judas hanged himself on it. Be like, dude, what?
The American elm, that is the eastern redbud. But
damn it, it was either one of the two. Damn it, all right.
You're just sitting in your college dorm room and you look out the window. American goldfinch.
Do you guys remember Mustafa? I think he was playing, I think he played football at Penn. And do you guys remember him? He was from a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wait.
he told me like they said he had an interview. They interviewed like their athletes, and they're like, "What special talents do you have?" And he's like, "Oh, I know my trees." And he started listing all of these trees that he knew. It was pretty funny.
You know who actually got me into the class, or like originally that made me start thinking about it was Jordan Allison and Cliff Joseph.
Oh yeah, I remember them. They're funny.
No, I love them. I did B&G with them freshman year, but they were talking to me about it, and because we were walking through. This is before the new gym was built. We were walking through the woods up to like where all the fields are, that little area, and they were just pointing trees out, and I was like, you guys are really weird. And I was a freshman, so I had a lot of confidence saying that. But they're like, no, dude, we're telling you, it's Miss J's class. It's the greatest class. You gotta take it. It's so fun. And they're just like, look, that's an American birch. That's an American elm, and they were just talking about that, and I was like. Huh.
I remember Miss Johnson, we went during Hudson Scholars, we went fishing for what was it, frog eggs or fish eggs?
Yeah, that was so fun. Isn't it cute getting them all into the ponds and stuff?
Yeah, I don't like how it feels on your legs. We went into the big like ponds behind Hackley, and we had these waders on like up to your waist, and when you step into the water, it feels like a suction cup is sort of going on
Gabe,
your legs.
I did it. Believe me.
So weird. It's so weird, and then someone always falls in too.
Oh no, Sasso for our group almost fell in because I think Sasso's had like a tiny hole in it. I think it was Sasso. It had a tiny little hole in it or something like that. No, it didn't. But he thought it was, so he started freaking out and was like thrashing around the water, and it was like waist deep. So he started going like this, and it was just getting all over his shirt. And then I think Neil fell over a little bit in the water and had like half of his body submerged. That was such a fun day, Miss J, because we were just bullying people that fell in.
No, I wish we didn't get a chance to do that this year. It's like first time in 17 years I haven't been by the ponds when they've been waking up like that. It's kind of sad.
It was so fun though too. It was just like Gabe said though. It was just super weird feeling like right as you step in, your legs just are immediately like just like tightened by the thing. It felt like someone was just like grabbing your leg and just slowly squeezing all of the blood out of it.
It is tricky too because there's all those hidden logs and stuff. The one year
Yeah,
in my class, do you guys remember that whole crew?
Wait, who?
Oni and that whole.
Yeah.
So he was in there and he threw an enormous stick at another child. I forgot who. And I was like gonna yell at him for throwing big sticks because they're not supposed to do that. And these are things that like I don't think I need to tell 17-year-olds, but apparently I do. So we're out there. I'm about to say something, and then I forgot. Then someone was going to go get him for throwing the stick and making the big splash, and Oni tripped and fell under the water. He totally choked himself and came up. He like ruined his phone and everything. I didn't feel bad, but it was pretty funny to watch him kind of fall into the water. And another time, a girl fell, and she came out, and she's like, "Miss Johnson, I need your help." I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Well, I tied the waders to my thongs and I can't get them untied and I need you to untie them." I was like, "I cannot touch your underwear. That is not allowed." And she's like, "Miss Johnson, I can't ask anyone else. You have to do it." And so I made this other girl watch as I untied the waders from her underwear. And then I had to write her mom and say, "Just want to let you know, I touched your daughter's underwear because she tied them to the waders and I had to help her so she could get them off." And it was embarrassing. I had to write Mr. King about it. I mean, her mom thought it was funny and was like, "Does anyone have a video of this? Because that sounds pretty hilarious." But meanwhile, now the rule is do not tie the waders to your underwear. Well, I didn't think I need to make for 17-year-olds, but apparently you do. So
I think my favorite part is that you made another student watch.
well, I didn't want to just didn't want to get in trouble.
No, it makes sense that you did that because, like, you obviously, you can't, like, it just makes sense. But it's just points like, you come over here and watch this happen.
I know.
I doubt she did it like that, Sean.
Well, obviously not with the deep voice and everything.
No.
But so going back to classes, because a lot of people know that your classes, like AFER and Bio, do a lot of like physical work, whether it be outside or like labs inside, like like the gross pig lab. So how has your classes changed with like labs and stuff like that? Because Ms. McClay said they do a lot of online simulations and stuff. I just wanted to hear what you and your class were doing.
I think that's the hardest part. Like I have like 40 pigs in my classroom that I'm not going to use this year. They're just sitting there, so they'll keep for next year. But so we weren't able to do the fetal pig lab. We weren't able to do the duck project this year. And then so some of the other stuff, those are kind of the two main labs that we do in the springtime. So they're not missing labs, they're just missing those two really big experiences, which is rather unfortunate. So
I feel like we should clarify, she's not joking when she says pigs. Like,
fetal
Oh
pig.
yeah, no.
she's not
Yeah.
talking about her students.
Yeah. So I think for the fall, if we're going online, you know, the takeout science stuff. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, kits. I'm gonna see if I can get a way to like mail a package of them to students, so that way we can do the labs at home and then they can mail them back when they're done. And some of we start bio with evolution, so hopefully, like, remember the finch lab where you guys were finches and you're competing for food that way?
Oh, I remember that. Ethan cheated. I remember that. I got really mad at him because he kept on cheating. I remember what the strategy was for those of fresh underclassmen watching. What you have to do is whoever has the big tweezers or like the big beak, you have to go for food. Whoever has the small one has to just fight off the big one, but not for food, just like literally. So
Yeah.
we ended up having like a fight. But that's besides the point. Sorry, what were you saying, Miss J?
No, I'm just hoping like some of those can be done at home. I don't know. We'll see. So we're supposed to spend the summer working all that stuff out. I'll be working a lot this summer doing that kind of stuff. But
Or like
maybe,
the thumb lab too.
oh, yeah, you could do that at home, I think, with like a partner. So, yeah, we'll find out. I can't believe you remember that. That's the fun of the year.
We have to tape our thumbs to our hand.
And then you had to button up your clothes, put a water bottle
Oh, I'll do that right now.
page. So
This is actually
You
kinda
might
hard.
have too many muscles in the way, Sean.
No, I do. My back is just too big.
That's the issue. So, Ms. Johnson, a question we've been asking all the teachers that we have
got
on is, what would be your dream addition to the curriculum?
Oh, I have a thought, and I want to propose it maybe next year. But I know you guys talked to Lopko, and he talked about the class where they're traveling, right?
Right.
To the south.
Oh, you've been watching.
I did some research. Yes,
You did some research. You wanted to see what was going on.
I did when I was like, what are these two knuckleheads gonna ask me about? So you know, you talked about that course about the South.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do one on on the national parks, and in particular the national parks out like Grand Canyon, Canyonlands, Arches, that area, because I think it's really interesting from a natural history point of view and the stuff to see there. I mean, the Grand Canyon's is one of the wonders of the world. It's amazing, but also the different types of rocks, the different types of vegetation, but also the history with the Native Americans there. And there's a bunch of other really interesting ethical issues out there to kind of talk about and discuss. So I think that would be a pretty fun class to teach. And then you could go out there over spring break and visit them. You could do a rafting trip, do some climbing, tons of cool things to do. So I think that would be something I'm really interested in doing.
That sounds awesome. If I could take that, I would love to take that, because I remember the unit in AFER when we talked about, you know, like, is introducing wolves back to national parks where like moose and, you know, other animals like that have run like run wild and there's really no predators. It was cool talking about that too, because it's like, you know, on one hand it'll, you know, make the ecosystem more balanced and bring it back to its natural state before humans intervene and start hunting wolves. But then on the other hand, there's wolves running around a national park.
Pretty cool. I heard them when I was out there. So my son, Travis, you guys know who he is. One of the things that we want to do is go to all the continental national parks, like eventually in our lifetime. So we actually have a big trip planned this summer. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, to Yosemite and Sequoia. But so that's kind of always been my interest, is seeing some of these national parks. So that's why I thought teaching the class would be fun. Like the ranger talks are so fun at the parks. There's just so much to do. And the United States is pretty interesting. I know people like to travel overseas, but there's so many great places to see in the U.S. of like fascinating ecology that I want to go see. So.
Have you had more time during quarantine to check out like parks near you and explore like the environment around you?
We've been doing a ton of hiking for sure. Like we went up to Lake Minnehaska State Park this weekend. That was a little crazy. It opens at 9 and we got there right at 9 and all the parking lots but one were filled. So at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so we got into one and it was good, but hold on, my dog is. I gotta let him back inside. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Here,
So-
see him. Pippin.
Oh,
He's beauty.
American Goldfinch.
that is not an American goldfinch here. That's the I think it's Northern Cardinal.
Nice. Now, I've been spending a lot more time outside, and the other day, I think I saw, I don't know, maybe I'm making this up, but I thought I saw bats like in my backyard,
Oh, you definitely could have seen bats.
right? Because they were flying a little differently than the birds normally do.
Was
so I
it in
thought
the
they were-
evening?
That's what a bat is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was like, it was basically dark outside.
Yeah, then that's the best time to find them. So you definitely could. And that's great. They eat tons of insects. They're a really important part of our ecosystem.
Right, but I hear like getting bit by one is pretty dangerous, correct? Like,
Well, yeah, getting bit by anything is dangerous, but bats can carry rabies. So.
right, yeah.
So if one were to get into, like, my house, for example, what would be the best way to, I guess, let it out? Because I don't want to have to whip out the tennis racket and, one-on-one it.
Yeah.
But how would I let it out?
You call
Light-
somebody.
What'd
And
she
get
say?
Call somebody and get someone else to take it out.
Oh,
Like, you have to test it.
My suggestion was like lighter and hairspray. Like,
No,
Yeah, I
No.
forgot about that. That's awesome.
not a good idea.
lighter.
Well, if you take it outside and do
hairspray,
that.
Insurance claim.
Did they have that on, like, the, is it, like, Progressive? Isn't that part of their, like, 4-pronged package?
No,
For sure.
I don't think they want you to light your house on fire.
Well, no, they have
Kill a
insurance
bat.
for it, though. Oh, no, it's Allstate. If you're in good hands, that's what
You
it
can
is.
just sell your house, Sean. Like,
No, that's true, too. I don't own it. No, we're getting off topic here, Gabe. I
Yeah,
realize
sorry.
that now. So, have you had to be more creative in keeping your kids entertained in quarantine?
They play entirely too many video games. So we redid our attic, and it's really teen friendly right now. And Travis built a PC that he has up there. His friend built it, but he helped them, and so they've been doing a lot of gaming. But that's where he likes to do his work. So I don't know how much work he's doing really. Although he has Mr. Masonette. You guys remember him for history? Did you have Masonette?
yeah,
Yeah.
So he has the big paper due. So that's what he's working on.
I remember that one.
That
Yeah.
was not fun.
So supposedly he's working, but he's been training for cross country. In fact, Jonah and Winslow have been super sweet and set them up with them, and they've been giving him workouts every week to do, and he's been doing them. In fact, they did a strength training workout on Zoom together the other day. So he's actually having a really good time. It's less work. He has more time to game with his buddies. My daughter's been a little unhappy. I've actually let her go. She has one friend who lives up the road, so they've been doing walks and playing soccer together with face masks on. Just to get her out. We took her biking yesterday because she needs exercise every day. So she biked and we ran. It was fun. Croton is a good place because Croton has a lot of parks by us to do a lot of walking.
Right, I live around here. Sean used to also.
You live around here?
Where's that?
Around Croton, sorry.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I live in Yorktown.
Oh, I forgot that. That's right.
I
So
shouldn't disclose my address on
Yeah. We don't
We're
want
kind
crazy
of
fans
famous
coming to your
and-
door.
Yeah,
So Croton Point Park, we go there quite a bit. That's
right, yeah. I've been meaning to get there.
So there's a hawk's nest and the babies are fledging right now. It's pretty cool. You can see it with binoculars right on the beach. So fun.
I feel like I've been there before, but I don't remember. But I'm up in Austining, so there's not really.
You could come up from Austining. Croton's the next town north of you. So
I just got here like a year ago. But there's not too much like natural stuff in Austining, and
you could come up to Croton. So there's tons of stuff here. And you guys have the first coffee shop. First Village Coffee in Austining is one of my favorite places to go. So
Oh, I think my parents have gone there before. Yeah. They're big fans of that. I keep on trying to get them to come to my coffee shop, but they don't really like the drinks I make for them. But that's fine.
what coffee shop are you at in Austining?
Oh, I don't work in Austining. I work in Katona because I used to live in Katona,
Gotcha.
and then I
He
got a
works
job
at-
there.
Taza Cafe.
Yeah, Taza Cafe in Katona, but they're only letting the adults work right now because there's a bunch of kids that work there, and like a bunch of like high schoolers. So I'm really good friends with all of them, but they're not letting any of the kids work, which I get. but it's just kind of a pain because all the people that, like I usually work with, like the adults, they've been working with the same exact 3 people every single day for the same exact shift. So it's just, I feel kind of bad for them, and I thought they would let kids kind of come in and, like, take over shifts so they can take breaks from each other. But, it's fine. It's just unfortunate there. But no, I've been looking for different coffee shops around, but a bunch of them aren't hiring right now because coronavirus, and they're not really going to interview either.
No. And I think First Village Lewis, he does most of the work there anyway. So. My some of my plants are in there. If you go there, you'll see some plants from my classroom because he needed to be a little cheered up, and I had them in my car. So I was like, you can babysit them for the summer.
Oh, what happened to all the animals in the classroom?
The fish tank's doing well. There's new fish babies. Missy K has been helping out there, and then Crystal has been feeding them every day. And then I've been coming in once every other month to scrub the tank down and everything like that. So they're doing fine. And then Missy K is also taking care of Miss Olson's fish and critters. So.
What about Buddy?
The tarantula? Yeah, I think Missy K might get him crickets. So he's probably
he's good then.
He's probably a little hungry. He hasn't been fed in a while.
I have a question. So what has you been, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but what has been your experience with online classes? Like, just like teaching like regular things.
Well, for regular bio, we did a lot of stuff with in the immune system, which is interesting. The kids have really liked that. And then we just finished up reproduction, which you guys always like. We did talk about prostate exams, colonoscopy, all kinds of good stuff. So
we love that topic.
Yeah, exactly. That's my favorite.
Had their attention. Today, though, was probably the first day I saw a little bit of like brain deadness we were doing mitosis, which is really not that exciting to begin with. And it's like the end of AP, so they were pretty tired. So we played a Kahoot. We watched some fun videos, and we'll do cancer next week. I really miss seeing you guys so much. It's the best part of teaching, and it is more work to try and make stuff for just the quick lessons that we have. It takes a lot of time. So I'm hoping the fall we'll get back there. But I'm grateful for the time that they give us, just because I know my daughter's getting 0 FaceTime, and it's really difficult for her. So I appreciate the fact that I do get to see you when I do.
We do too, Miss J. Have you showed them the elephant giving birth video yet?
I did. That one was good.
How many of them left the Zoom call?
Actually, I already showed that one earlier in the year because someone had mentioned it from another class, I guess. One of the seniors knew about. I think Connor might have known about it from you guys or something. So they asked to see it earlier this year. So I already left that one out of the bag.
Oh, so you already got it out of the way.
I did. So I showed that one. There's a cool mitosis wrap that I think I showed you guys last year. We did that one today. Lots of fertilization videos, but I couldn't show them the water birth video because that one's at school. So they missed out on that this year. So remember how you guys got to see that one?
I remember that one now.
They didn't get to see that, although some of them were fairly thankful for that, I think. So.
What about the, is that the one where the guy has a parasite living in his arm?
Oh, I showed that one for sure already.
That one's gross.
Yeah, that's not a fan favorite, Miss J. That one's not fun.
Should I edit those clips into the video, Sean?
Yeah, can you please edit them right now and then edit an ad in while you're at it?
No, the botfly one, remember the entomologist? He's like a male, so he's never going to be able to give birth. So he's like, so I wanted to give birth to the botflies because it was his one chance to give birth.
Yeah, he was so excited about it. It's like, dude, you have like a living organism in your forearm. He's like, yeah, it's awesome, man. I can brag about that. It's like, who's gonna be like, dude, that's sick. Everyone's gonna be like, you're a damn weirdo. Get out of here.
Yeah, that one's a good one. So.
What's the place you're looking forward to visiting once quarantine ends?
I really hope we can take our trip out to California. So I met my husband in San Francisco, and we haven't taken the kids there, and I haven't been back in a long time. So I was really excited to see all my friends out there. We were going to do a big road trip from San Francisco to Yosemite and Sequoia and then down to LA to visit some other folks and do Disneyland. And I have a feeling that a lot of it's going to be canceled. I've already paid for a lot, so I'm kind of waiting to see. So that's, fingers crossed, what I hope to happen.
Fair enough. So
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Miss J.
We are going to the White Mountains in a couple weeks up in New Hampshire. Okay, remember we talked about that last year?
Oh, right. Yeah, I've hiked them for sure.
We loved it. It's like one of our favorite places. So we're there. The White Mountains are actually open. So we're going to go there, I think, graduation weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So thanks for the
They
recommendation.
they canceled my my sleepaway camp this summer, so that's not happening. It's just
Yeah,
it's
they
a
have a lot
shame.
of the camps up there, but the lodges are closed, but the trails are open. You just have
Right,
to get past ahead of time. So
right.
yeah.
For Tufts, they have like pre-orientation week, and then so for that, I'm doing hiking up there. So I'll get my fill of hiking anyways.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
Gabe, do you have any more questions for Miss J?
Mm, well, do you? Miss J, do you have
No,
any questions for us?
No, I would just say, you guys, when you go to school next year, try everything. Not like the bad stuff though, but like, like
Like
try.
heroin.
No.
yeah, okay,
You
blow, sure.
in class. No, that's a no. So, but like I tried rugby and I met a lot of friends there. I was in a sorority for a while. I met people there. My major, I met people. So like, UVA is a pretty big school, but it never felt that way. It was cool because by the end of my first year, I'd walk around and I'd always see somebody I knew. But then my senior year, I was still meeting new people, which is cool. So it's really important to make sure you're open to doing that kind of stuff because that's what makes it such a great experience. I had a really good time in college.
So, do you recommend hitting people with buses or to
No.
meet new people? To meet new people, of course.
No, but you can in rugby. You can hit people, so that's a good.
Were you dominant in rugby, Miss J? Were you like the MVP? Where was everyone like recruiting you like dodgeball in middle school? Where it's like I want her first pick.
I played on the under-23 national team, so yes, I will.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
And now
awesome.
you have to talk about that
Yeah.
before we
Okay.
let you go.
No, it just so I was good at rugby and I tried out for it and I made it and I got to travel to Canada and I actually traveled to England and got to play over there. So it was pretty fun. I was probably so I played second row. I don't know if you've seen like Invictus or something like that, but like I was in second row and I was not as tall, so I was a sub for the under 23 team, but it was still super fun. I mean, my finger is crooked, so see, I have a crooked finger, can't straighten. I busted it during rugby.
That's awesome.
I never noticed that.
No,
Yeah, if you didn't point it out, I would have had no idea.
So I had to get stitches all across my lips because somebody hit me. And then McClay loves the story. Actually, one of my good friends. So we were playing at UVA, and we weren't friends at first, but we were in like the middle of a big like ruck, and she was pinching me really badly on the thigh. So and it hurt. So I took my hands and I tried to rip her hand off of my leg because it didn't feel good, and I dug my nails in a little bit. And then there's a big whistle after the play, and they're like, she said someone bit her, but it wasn't a bite mark. It was like my fingernail. I like did not volunteer that information because I didn't want to get into trouble, so I just said nothing. But then she also made the under 23 team, and we were roommates together for our summer camp. And then so she like sits me down and she's super nice and she's like, I have to tell you something bad about the UVA rugby team. You guys are biters. And I was like, we're not biters. And she's like, look at the scar that it scarred her hand where I had scratched her. And so I was like, okay, then finally I felt guilty. I was like, I had to come clean. I was like, that's not a bite mark. Those are my fingernails because you were pinching me so badly, which also is not allowed. So so well, we became friends, but she thought I bit her, but I didn't bite her. I just
I feel like you'd know if someone bit your hand, besides like, because they've got to get like the whole motion and go all the way down there and just,
Well, you've never really watched rugby. I mean, you're like heads and
Yeah.
like you get pretty. My friend and I were at the gym working out towards the end of our senior year, and someone asked me if I was in a car accident because I had so many bruises over my body. It's really embarrassing.
Did you play on like the varsity team, like for
No, it's
Virginia?
a club team. So we played on a club team, and so we traveled to all the other schools and stuff. But you had to fund yourself and everything. But it was cool where we played, and then there's club teams after college. So I played on the Washington D.C. Furies for a year, which was super fun.
Can we buy your jersey? Like, do we have
Yeah.
like
I don't think I
retro Johnson jersey?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Can we get like a discount in season tickets or?
I don't know where they are, but you guys should check out the rugby teams at your school. They're pretty fun. So they're usually pretty interesting characters. Because every position someone plays really takes a special personality. So you can kind of tell, like, where someone would be just based on meeting them if they play rugby, because like someone who's a forward is really different than someone in the back line. Like we finished a game and we were covered in mud, my friend and I, and one of our other friends was a fly half, so she's in the back line, and she came over, she's like, I didn't get any dirt on me at all. I called all the plays so I wouldn't get muddy. And I was like, meanwhile, I can't even like wipe my face off the mud. I have so much mud on my body. Like I'm like trying to use the inside of my shirt, like over by the armpit, just something so I can see because there's so much mud. I was like, that's ridiculous. So we grabbed her and threw her into a mud puddle because she didn't so
What positions would Gabe and I be?
you would definitely be in the scrum, probably, Sean. I could see you being like a second row or something, or like an 8-man.
Is that where like the ugly people play?
Yeah, that's where the people can get scars. So it won't really matter.
No, but Sean's actually pretty loud and a little bossy, so he could be in the 8-man. I could see him like yelling at everyone, telling them what to do. So I could see that. And then
I would say thank you, but I have no idea what that means, Miss J.
and then I could see Gabe probably being a back line because you're quick and you're gonna like make those plays and stuff.
He's not quicker than me. I am so quick, Miss J. Have you seen me move?
Deceptively speedy. He is.
Have you? What do you mean deceptively? I do track.
Well, I don't think people would expect you to be fast.
I could show off my huge legs right now on podcast, but we'd have to cut it. Yeah, we'd have to cut it, so I'm not gonna. But I am so fast. Okay.
You have to be fast to be a forward too. So I just see you. You have the personality of more of a forward. So.
My mom always says that Sean should go into broadcasting for going forward because she says he carries the show and I'm a sidekick.
I said it once, I'll say it again. The show, it's in equal parts right now. It would not be the same. It's great that me and Gabe are both in this because he has good questions, I have good questions. We both have personality.
Good. I feel like that makes me feel better as a mom because I know I have said similar things to my children where they're like, oh, thanks for being supportive, Mom. And I'm like, oh, I guess honesty wasn't needed.
Do you see broadcasting or any other jobs in Sean and I's future?
For sure. You guys could do whatever you want. The world is your oyster, right?
What about president? You think president for me?
Well, if Trump can be president, anybody can be president. It's a whole nother story. So.
Okay, you win there. You win there.
Oh, that's enough.
But I wasn't on The Apprentice.
So I can't even talk
That's
about
funny.
politics now. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just no politics. No politics.
I'm like, oh my God, you've never taken biology ever. So, but that's just not even like Republican. Like I can't even. It's like
it's just factual.
Blows my mind. So So yes. Yeah. But what do you guys want to do? Do you know? Or
so
I'm undecided.
I applied for electrical engineering. That's that's my major right now. I think Sean's undecided.
So you never know. And then you can always change your mind. Like there's a woman at Hackley in charge of the performing arts department, and she retired at the age of 60 and became a landscape designer. So she went to school and that's what she does now. So isn't that amazing?
Awesome. That's awesome.
Like just said, I'm interested in this. I'm going to do that. So which is good. You can always change your mind. All right, guys, I miss you. I'm really happy to see your faces. This has been lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. This was a blast. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, so I look forward to seeing I'll keep checking. Do you guys post anywhere? Where do you have a new one? YouTube? How would someone like me find out when you have new episodes?
So subscribe and click that bell for notifications. If you go on YouTube, like if you have the app on your phone, you can click a bell, which sends you a notification whenever we post a new video or something.
All right, so I'll get Travis to set it up for me, basically, is what you're
saying. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so Mr. McCoy sent a link out like the other day, and if you go to our channel from that link, then like hopefully later today you should be able to see the video.
Okay. So
Mr. McCoy said we only had 4 though.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they've recorded 4 episodes thus far, which this is our 8th, so that was.
Yeah, and he was the one before you.
Yeah.
I noticed that, but I felt like everyone makes mistakes, so. Well, you guys all make mistakes. I mean, that's like I gave a chapel talk on making mistakes one time. So I drove to the wrong Ocean City. I had no idea there was one in New Jersey and Maryland. So I was supposed to be my family. And it was Maryland versus New Jersey. It was a big fiasco, and I've never lived it down. So
that's actually so funny.
Ever. So I didn't know. Like I only knew about the one in Maryland, and my sister did clearly give me the address that said New Jersey, but I was mad at her anyway because I thought she had switched it because we were supposed to go to Cape May. So I'm like, why are we going to someplace closer to Virginia? It's totally being a brat. And then, yeah, it was enormous. I had to go tell my family after we drove to the wrong one. Then we had another 3-hour drive to the other one. It was like, Travis was like my husband had to take a walk. He was so mad at me. My daughter's like screaming her head off. She had another 3 hours. It was a disaster.
That's really funny.
Having a great weekend, but I
hysterical.
was like, talk about making mistakes. I was like, well, I messed up, guys. I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, but
It's pretty funny though.
yeah. So, in fact, Miss Danik likes that story so much. We ran into her down in Duck, North Carolina, and she was with friends, and she's like, "Oh, these are the couple I was just telling you about that went to the wrong Ocean City." And I was like, "Melissa, like complete strangers that like when we meet them." It's so nice. So anyway, yeah, it's exciting. So don't worry, you can always make a mistake like that, and then everyone will talk about it forever.
I mean, that's kind of what's been happening with the cold Guy Fieri thing. I've been called Fieri on multiple occasions.
Have you? You keep
Yeah,
telling me
I love it. I love it. Well, it's been okay. It's ironic. Like most of my nicknames are ironic.
Mm,
Okay, so Gabe thinks that I give myself all these nicknames,
he does.
which I don't. I don't. There was maybe one I gave myself, but that just was like no one uses that one. But he doesn't believe me on anything.
Okay.
Yeah, this is why you suck. Anyways, Miss J, thank you for being here. This was totally fun.
Bye, guys. Have a great
Bye,
day.
Miss J.
Bye, Miss J.